Number 10. Black and white jumpsuit. Meghan Markle looked to Kate Middleton for inspiration back in June 2022, as she donned a $4,800 monochrome jumpsuit, which was nearly identical to a gown her sister-in-law wore earlier in the year. According to its online description, Meghan's jumpsuit featured a bold silhouette, as well as the brand's signature knot detailing across the back and a slight flare toward the hem of the pants. The Duchess of Sussex, in her third outfit of the day, accessorized with dainty gold earrings, a $350,000 trilogy engagement ring and wedding band, and Princess Diana's $23,000 Cartier tank watch. Harry, however, sported a more casual look in a black denim jeans, a navy blue shirt with the arms rolled up, and gray suede sneakers. He completed the look with 2 separate bracelets and a necklace which was mostly hidden by a shirt. The Duke's relaxed appearance was a stark contrast to what he wore in his keynote speech at the UN General Assembly hours earlier, in which he blasted a Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade as a global assault on democracy and freedom. Despite the event meant to be in celebration of Nelson Mandela Day, Prince launched an attack on American politics during his speech to delegates. He also spoke out about climate change and poverty during the 2-hour meeting. Number 9. Pink skirt suits. The Duchess Meghan of Sussex wore a pink skirt suit when she joined husband Prince Harry and grandmother-in-law Queen Elizabeth II at a Buckingham Palace reception in June 2018. The occasion was a party for the Queen's Young Leaders Awards, a program that celebrates the achievements of what the palace calls young change-makers from across the Commonwealth. Harry and Meghan were there because the then new Duchess in Sussex would be taking a leading role in the Commonwealth, the organization of former British Empire nations that was dear to the Queen. For the palace reception, Meghan wore a pale pink Prada top and skirt set featuring a belted short-sleeve jacket with a double-breasted button front and an A-line miniskirt, accessorized with black pumps and clutch. But Kate had first dressed in an L.K. Bennett light pink skirt suit during a royal visit to Adelaide, Australia in April 2014. Number 8. The white shirt and jeans combo. Kate dressed in a white blouse, bootcut jeans, brown suede cowboy boots, and a white cowboy hat at the Calgary Stampede Parade in Alberta, Canada in July 2012. Then later, Meghan had dressed in a white Oxford shirt, bootcut jeans, and black pointed toe boots at the Dove event in October 2015. A World Vision spokesperson told Us Weekly, World Vision's global ambassador Meghan Markle was in India on an experimental learning mission to highlight key issues facing girls and living in poverty. As a strong advocate for gender equality, Markle has worked closely with World Vision to create a trip specifically focusing on and bringing awareness to girls' lack of access to education. She engaged with local activists and educators to help ensure girls felt equipped and safe to attend school, and worked to improve access to girls' latrines, the lack of therefore being a significant problem for the 63 million teenage girls in India. World Vision, a relief, development, and advocacy organization, has been active in India since 1951. A source added, Meghan had been planning this for the past 8 months, compiling her own research and helping set the agenda for the trip. She didn't want to be given notes by someone else and just show up. These are important areas of interest for Meghan and cover issues she feels extremely passionate about. Number 7. Military details. Kate had worn a double-breasted navy coat by Alexander McQueen at Armed Forces Day in June 2011, and then Meghan had chosen to dress in a navy military-inspired navy jacket and trousers while out in New York City in March 2016. It was thought at first that her coat was from Armani, however the buttons did not match any of the Armani coats. Her shoes were Aquazur, the purest 105 pumps in navy suede for $650, as well as a Cartier tank watch which was Princess Diana's in gold. Jennifer Meyer 18-karat gold bezel tennis bracelet for $3,000, and a Cartier love bracelet in gold. Number 6. Blue dress. At an Instagram dinner in Toronto, Meghan posed with her longtime best friend and stylist Jessica Mulrooney. This look from 2016 is pre-royal duties, but Meghan was well on her way to becoming a fashion icon. The plunging neckline of her deep blue dress was balanced out nicely with its longer length. Simple straight hair and subtle makeup had Meghan looking effortlessly cool, which coincidentally looked just like a dress that Kate was in during her engagement photo call with Prince William in November 2010. So maybe she saw Kate wearing it and decided to match with her, as people say she had been planning to be a part of the royal family for years. Number 5. Plaid coat. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's visit to Scotland was notable for several reasons. First, it was a romantic pre-Valentine's Day work trip for the soon-to-be married couple. Second, a pony tried to bite Prince Harry. And lastly, Meghan dressed in a very Scottish-themed outfit for the occasion. The lip gloss queen was spotted at Edinburgh Castle wearing black trousers by US designer Veronica Beard and a chic black turtleneck bodysuit by Wolford. Of course, Markle's also wearing a Burberry tartan coat. The tartan print is a traditional Scottish design, and Burberry is an iconic UK brand, so her outfit was on theme. So ultimately, the Duchess of Sussex did appear to channel Kate's style once more when she wore the Burberry coat while visiting in February 2018, as Kate was seen rocking an Alexander McQueen coat dress with very like pattern years earlier. Number 4. Portrait necklines. Kate donned a black and teal off-the-shoulder off-the-shoulder gown by Jenny Packham at the St. Andrew's 600th anniversary dinner in New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art in December 2014. Meghan Markle then attended the Step It Up for Gender Equality event celebrating the 20th anniversary of the 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing at Hammerstein Ballroom on March 10, 2015 in New York, dressed in a black tea-length dress. Number 3. White coat. Markle, who at the time would become Her Royal Highness Princess Henry of Wales, not Princess Meghan, appeared at an official photo call for the happy occasion in November 2017, wearing a sleek white coat by Canadian label Line, paired over a green dress from Perrache. Markle finished the look with nude heels, a Duchess of Cambridge style signature from Aquazur for $465, and perfectly wavy hair. Her ring was reportedly designed by Prince Harry himself, but Kate Middleton wore a dress by Reese, also in a white tone, for the Mario Testino lensed photoshoot announcing her engagement to Prince William back in 2010. For the conference, she chose a dress by Issa in a blue that matched the sapphire in her engagement ring, which had been Diana's. Both dresses were so popular that they were re-released by the brands. Number 2. Grey plaid dress. Meghan Markle traveled to Cardiff, Wales in January 2018 for an official visit that included visiting the Welsh Culture Festival and a tour of Cardiff Castle. The former Suits star continued to prove she's a fashion star, braving the chilly winter temps in a chic all-black ensemble, before revealing a modern yet regal top that at the time had already sold out on the brand's website. Markle mingled with well-wishers in a stunning black Stella McCartney overcoat that she paired with pointy-toed Tabitha Simmons boots, a mini forest green de Meliere London Venice bag, and shooting star earrings. But of course, Kate had to do it first, rocking an LK Bennett coat in December 2017 that looks almost exactly the same. Number 1. Polka dot dress. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex had arrived in Fraser Island, Queensland to visit the world's largest sand island as the next stop of their first tour as a married couple. Mother-to-be Meghan, who missed an engagement a few days prior to rest following a late Saturday night at the Invictus Games opening ceremony, had been told by Harry to make sure she is getting enough rest during the 16-day tour. When they arrived in Queensland, Prince Harry took a boat to Fraser Island, while Meghan went on a whale-watching boat. The Duchess appeared to be in good spirits as she waved to well-wishers on the marina. Meghan was sporting a polka dot dress that ties at the waist, along with large black sunglasses and lace-up sandals. Meanwhile, Kate opted for a very similar long-sleeve polka dot dress of the same color by British retailer Whistles, when she attended a reception for Radio 1's Teen Heroes of 2018 at Kensington Palace just a few days before Meghan had worn it.
Starting off with number 10, it's no surprise American-born and raised Meghan had a hard time adjusting to the English culture. How likely is it for your in-laws to be none other than the royals? I don't know about you, but that is an insane amount of pressure. In an episode, Harry and Meghan recall Meghan's first ever meeting with the Queen, who also happens to be Harry's grandmother. After being told she was meeting late Queen Elizabeth II, Harry had to make sure his American wife knew how to curtsy. Like most people who are unfamiliar with the traditions of the royal family, she thought he was joking. So, do I need to go on YouTube and learn how to curtsy just in case I bump into a member of the royal family now? In number 9, Harry and Meghan seem to have broken royal protocol when they brought a photographer into Buckingham Palace without the Queen's permission while she was still alive. As most know, the Buckingham Palace is a big deal with strict rules that are to be followed. So naturally, seeing a picture of the couple holding hands while walking toward a door within the monarch's residence caused a stir. There is strictly no photography or filming allowed inside staterooms at the palace, and any filming or photography within the palace for commercial purposes requires permission, which was not given. Yikes, that's some drama. Harry and Meghan have reportedly signed deals with Netflix worth over $100 million. This is causing lots of backlash, I can only imagine. Speaking of learning the royal rules, Prince Harry says claims Meghan Markle broke royal rules were often fabricated. Within the docuseries, Meghan says before joining the family, she knew there was a protocol for how things were done. It is hard to adjust to a completely different set of rules. It's a good thing Google exists, where we can learn anything just by searching up a simple how-to. Meghan claims she had to practice the English national anthem. A few other things she had to learn were the kind of hats that were acceptable to wear, specific ways of sitting, do's and don'ts, and the royal wave. As exhausting as that sounds, I can only imagine how much effort it took to adopt the traditions for the family you're married into. On to number 7, when you invite family over, you hug them, right? Well, not in this case. When Meghan and Harry invited Prince William and Duchess Kate over for dinner, Meghan's actions were seen as informal. For example, walking around barefoot with ripped jeans on. She says she didn't realize the royal family's etiquette was not only observed in public, but was also carried through on in the inside. Again, for most people unfamiliar with the English culture, it might not be well known how serious formality is taken, especially within the royal family. The biggest news that shocked many was when the Duke and Duchess stepped back from their royal duties and made the big leap from London to LA in the beginning of 2020. Leaving your royal titles to go live a normal life seems like an option many other people would not consider taking, but the couple revealed they needed to step back from royal duties due to lack of support and understanding, which in turn seemed to really affect their mental health. A lot of people claim Meghan never wanted to stay in the first place and that the Duchess only wanted the money and status that comes with being part of the royal family without the responsibility, especially because they moved to LA to live a quiet, peaceful life, which is not known as a quiet spot at all. A lot of drama is caused by the actions of these two, which many people find controversial. What do you think? Comment below if you agree or disagree with these claims. Next, we're going to talk about Meghan giving a personal interview to speak about their personal issues. This was a surprise for a lot of people, talking about the media scrutiny and their struggles as a couple. She has done an interview for Oprah which stirred a lot of drama and caused people to call her out for lying many times during the interview. Regardless of how true it is, this couple has been bold with living their lives the way they want to, and it seems as if they will continue to, especially as they are expanding their family away from the royal palace. As a rebellious duchess, a lot of the things Meghan has been doing have definitely become a hot topic of conversation. It makes me wonder if she's doing it intentionally or just doesn't care. What do you think? As we count down to the last few rules broken in the documentary, here are a few other times Meghan and Harry have bent royal rules just a little bit. Talk about being savage. There have been occasions where Meghan has worn dresses of a shorter length than other royal members usually wear. The couple's wedding was not on a weekday, which is royal tradition. While on their South African tour, the couple made a request to only be referred to as Harry and Meghan instead of as their royal titles, which, yeah, you guessed it, is definitely against royal protocols. The two of them are regularly seen showing PDAs, such as hugging and holding hands in photographs taken by paparazzi. I love how openly they are being themselves. Seems like they're really embracing their life outside of royalty. Adding to the fire, the Duke and Duchess will be suing the majority of British newspaper proprietors on various grounds. Harry is bringing phone hacking cases against both News UK, which owns The Sun and The Times, and Reach, which owns Daily Star, among other news outlets. He is also one of many individuals making serious allegations against associated newspapers, the publisher of the Daily Mail, Mail on Sunday, and Mail Online. Meghan has already won a separate legal case against the Mail on Sunday after it published a private letter she sent to her father. The suggestions of misleading editing with several photos and clips taken out of context in the series has been causing waves in conversations about the couple's relevance, which is very controversial when it comes to the personal lives of the royal family. There's a leaking, but there's also planning of stories. It's a dirty game, Prince Harry is heard saying in the docuseries. When discussing matters of Harry's mom, the late Princess Diana, he also discusses his upbringing and the effect his mother and her death had on him, as well as the constant press intrusion he has faced since birth. In a move that is likely to anger his brother Prince William, the docuseries uses footage from the BBC's controversial Panorama interview with Diana. It emerged last year. The interview had been secured via fraudulent means. Earlier this year, the BBC publicly apologized to William and Harry and donated the $1.6 million it made from the interview. In response, William said, "It is my firm view that this Panorama program holds no legitimacy and should never be aired again." In the docuseries, Harry says, "I think we all now know that Diana was deceived into giving the interview, but at the same time, she spoke the truth of her experience." And finally, in number 1, the series seems to be targeted towards the American demographic. So many British followers of royalty were not pleased by the whole idea of a series being made and believe it taints the family's honor in the sense of all family matters remaining private. Counting down from number 10, we really won't be seeing Prince Harry become king now. Even though the chances of that were already slim, after stepping down, I am here to let you all know that it is a definite confirmation that Harry and Meghan have zero chance of gaining the royal titles as King and Queen of England. Leaving the royal family was a very big moment and caused a lot of backlash because, well, it's a very, very rare news headline to have to discuss. Voluntarily leaving the royal family just feels very controversial, and as we all know, was. The surprising news was followed by a statement addressing why they will no longer be using their titles and walking away. To summarize it, they wanted to transition into a progressive role and work to become financially independent while continuing to support the Queen from a distance. After their bold and controversial statement, they received a substantial sum from King Charles to help make their transition easier, but the funding stopped in the summer of 2020. Now that they've been cut off from any financial support from the royals, the question is, how do they plan on working their way to achieve the lavish lifestyle, financially independent from the throne? Coming into number 9, the contracts that are paying their royal bills. The Sussexes own a media company, Archwell Productions, which is set to make a range of programs for Netflix. Worth to be millions of dollars, this seems like it can be a promising stream of income from the couple, right? But speaking of Netflix, I don't know how many of you have actually sat down to watch their docuseries Harry and Meghan, but I will say that it's definitely been getting all kinds of reactions. When this series released its trailer, the backlash they were receiving was getting crazy. A lot of people were not impressed by the approach they had taken to share their story. If you want to catch some serious tea about the trailer and series, go watch our other video, Top 10 Lies Meghan Markle Told on her Netflix docuseries. Back to the backlash. Since the monarchy is still relatively popular in America, a lot of viewers did not receive the series well. And now many believe that the couple is on their way to becoming disliked by the general public in America, in addition to being disliked in England. It seems like they can't catch any breaks in either continent, but at the same time, it really feels like they did this to themselves. What do you think? Comment down below if you think the hate is deserved, or if you think people are doing too much. After the couple signed a $100 million deal with Netflix, the tea is that their docuseries was not well received from a majority of the audience. Will this make an impact on the types of business companies will pursue with them? Number 8 on our top 10, the couple is being advised to maintain their distance from the coronation for Harry's father, King Charles III. Yikes. They really said if you aren't part of the family, you aren't part of the milestones, period. Now, I may not be British, but I can definitely say that seems like a huge moment for his father, and the fact that Harry and his family might not be invited is insane to think about. This drama is running deep because they were advised not to come since it would be humiliating for the family. The obvious reason for this is the English public and their anger towards the couple after they had moved to Montecito to pursue a new life away from the royal responsibilities. Coronations are important milestones, and we already know the royal family tries their absolute hardest to try to avoid any possible controversies. After the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, the couple has been getting a lot of news coverage. After a poll was taken, half of the British folk want the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to be stripped of their titles, and 40% also believe Harry should be removed from the official line of succession over his actions in the media. Many public figures and royal experts are hoping the couple decides to skip coming to the coronation because they don't want camera time to be wasted on the couple rather than the king and queen, which I highly doubt would be much of a problem. As tricky as this sounds, do you think the couple will take their chances and show up for their father's big day? And number 7, with many brand deals and contracts, who knows how many are willing to support the couple without receiving backlash from those who have strong feelings against the Duke and Duchess. We know that for the most part, a lot of decisions are based on public opinion in order for businesses to get the most support. So if the couple starts receiving a lot more hate, at what rate do we think they'll start losing deals? Or will companies feed off the controversies because it brings them more attention? What do you think will happen? Let me know in the comments. 6th on today's top 10 is Meghan's infamous choice to retire from her acting career. She really was booked and busy before she stepped down from this part of her life too. As a former actress to someone who is more interested in working behind the scenes, Meghan hosts a podcast called Archetypes where she interviews famous women and has had guests such as Mariah Carey, Serena Williams, and Paris Hilton. Meg's net worth prior to leaving acting was around $5 million, where she earned $50,000 for each episode of Suits, where she played Rachel Zane, and a combined $360,000 from her roles in the movies she'd done back in 2010. She also ran a successful lifestyle blog, The Tig, which she shut down after getting engaged. The blog made her an estimated $80,000 a year from sponsorships and endorsement deals. Back when there was the royal drama after the couple made the decision to leave, Meghan signed a voiceover deal with Disney, and a contribution of her salary would be given to wildlife charity Elephants Without Borders. Number 5 on the countdown, Harry still relies on the inheritance of his mother, the late Princess Diana. During their interview with Oprah, Harry had admitted that without his mother's estate, which got him a great amount of $12 million, it would not have been possible for them to make the moves that they have been making since the beginning of January 2020. Harry said that he felt Princess Diana's presence throughout the whole process and that it seemed like something she would see coming. Every day, I wonder why I haven't been born a royal. Imagine you're asking your parents for lunch money and they're like, here, have $40,000 and a crumpet. Must be nice, honestly, but then again, the royal life is not for everyone, even those part of the family. Prince Harry blindsided so many people, including those who follow the monarchy closely, when they announced that they were stepping down from their titles. Coming down to number 4, trademark drama. After Harry and Meg filed paperwork to trademark their personal foundation, Sussex Royal, the foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the palace announced that they would not be allowed to use the term Sussex Royal after their decision to step back. After the trademark applications were removed, they did release a statement saying that they do not intend to use the term royal after their transition in the spring of 2020. Just like most of the royal drama we've been discussing, this one is really juicy because the late queen was pretty disappointed that the couple was bringing all this unnecessary and unwanted attention to the family. Well, to say the least, the queen was not pleased with them. If you piss off the queen, you should definitely be careful of what your next moves are going to be. Let's talk about these first world problems for a quick second though. As difficult as it was for the couple to make a decision to leave from their former life, it makes me question their privilege because as hard as it must be to be a royal, having the opportunity to live that lifestyle makes so many factors of your life so much easier. For one, it is very unlikely to ever deal with any financial struggles, which is one of the leading factors of stress in our society. Another thing is the problems they complain about are they're fed up with paparazzi following them around, or they don't like the way the media portrays them in news stories, which for the most part are strangers just doing their job. It feels crazy, right? I'm not the only one who thinks these first world problems just feel so mediocre and in a sense ignorant. And in no way am I trying to invalidate the feelings of the royals for going through the problems that they go through, but it just feels like it was never that serious for them to do some of the things they go and do out of their way to try to prove a point. They really shouldn't feel the need to. Moving on to number 3, risking becoming the most hated couple can cost you a lot. The couple has been making some headlines for some insane reasons, with the main and long-running story about them turning on the royals. You'd think with the amount of backlash they get for wanting to live a life different from what they were meant to would get them to lay low, but in case you guessed it, they really have not been doing that. And maybe in a sense they're just continuing to live their lives, but making money over a multiple part series just to explain a side of the story they may not necessarily have, that may not necessarily have much truth to it seems very problematic. Number 2 on our countdown, Harry lost his military titles. This must have been tough for him since his life had been very intertwined with his military service. He had done 2 hours in Afghanistan as a forward air controller and a helicopter pilot. He will not be serving as a Captain General of the Royal Marines either, which was a royal passed on to him from his grandfather, Prince Philip. Another title he will be no longer serving as is Commodore-in-Chief for small ships and diving in the Royal Navy. Meghan also had to surrender her patronage of the National Theatre, but will keep her small private patronages which offer coaching to unemployed women. Harry will also be able to keep a number of private patronages, including for a sporting competition for wounded service personnel that he'd founded. Last but not least, number 1 on our list, let's quickly summarize everything this couple has lost along with their royal titles. Well, we already know they have not been receiving any royal funds, but wait, there's more. As working royals, they received 95% of their annual income from Harry's father, so that's gone. They also were not able to keep their security arrangements. Bye-bye bodyguards. But when Harry first left the UK, he said it would be too dangerous for him to bring his family back without police protection, so he was granted permission to challenge the decision at High Court. They were unable to keep the Frogmore cottage, which was given to them by the late Queen when they got married. They offered to repay this amount after they had stepped down. Not to mention, they lost respect from a lot of people who looked up to them during their time as royals. Their reputation has become very questionable after the allegations that have come out about them lying in the Oprah interview and their docuseries. At this point, Even I'm losing my mind thinking about all the L's this couple has consistently been taking. I know the crown exists, but sometimes I feel like this family drama is so all over the place that we need multiple shows just to understand what exactly is going down. Sometimes it's hard to keep up. Starting off with number 10, Queen Consort Camilla was once known as the other woman during her affair with King Charles, which later turned into a relationship and eventual marriage. As we all know, Camilla has been hated on, mostly because fans and supporters felt she came between Charles and the late Princess Diana. So there's no shock Princess Diana was never a fan of Camilla. During Diana and Charles's honeymoon, Diana found love letters from Camilla to Charles. Yikes. I know Charles was sleeping on the couch their whole trip after that revelation. Like, Charles, if you're gonna cheat, at least try to hide the evidence better. Finding out you've been cheated on during your honeymoon is definitely a different kind of pain. On their honeymoon, Prince Charles wore the cufflinks that Camilla had gifted him, which understandably upset Diana. It was also reported that a picture of Camilla slipped out of Charles's diary at the time. These were just two of several blatant warning signs that Charles was not in love with his wife. Diana once confronted Camilla about her affair. As Charles and Camilla were casually hanging out in their palace, Diana requested to speak to Camilla privately and hit her with the "I know exactly what is going on," to which Camilla obviously tried to act oblivious and denied allegations. Gasp! What would we do without this juicy royal family drama? And also, shout out Netflix's The Crown for giving us the gift of seeing how exactly this drama may have gone down. The princess famously remarked in a 1995 interview, "There were always 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." Princess Di was a savage for that, and then a year later, they officially got divorced. As much as Diana was adored by the public, she just never got the attention or love that she deserved from her husband at the time. Sad. No one deserves this kind of treatment. Charles fumbled Diana, who was admired by so many people around the world, for Camilla, and no shade, but who has openly admitted to loving the Queen Consort? Charles and Camilla got married in 2005, and while they're still going strong after all these years, many are still unforgiving of the mistress who people claim ruined Diana and Charles's marriage. I personally think Charles should be the one held accountable for ruining his own marriage. A lot could have been avoided, like the hurt and resentment within his own family and even from supporters of the royals. But things happen, and without their juicy drama, we would have never gotten a show as good as The Crown, which does a great job at reenacting the problematic things this family's been involved in. On to number 9, seeing the late Princess Diana's jewelry worn by Duchess Kate brings us back to the wonderful years when the people's princess and fashion icon was alive and serving looks while remaining gracious. After finding out the famous mistress to Prince Charles wore a piece of jewelry once owned by the princess, the public had new reasons to diss Camilla, and leaving us all confused on why she thought it was a good idea to make that bold decision. They may be married now, but that's still no excuse. Wearing jewelry owned by the ex-wife of your husband just feels so wrong and unhinged. People think Camilla reached a new level of disrespect by wearing what was once Princess Diana's. The emerald and diamond necklace was gifted to Princess Diana by the Queen and returned to the royal vault after Diana had tragically passed away. But recently, in 2016, Camilla was spotted wearing the piece. It was turned into a brooch, so the piece was more subtle, but it wasn't fooling anyone that Camilla was wearing what didn't belong to her. Of all the jewelry she could wear from the vaults, she decided on an extremely controversial piece. Do you think it was wrong of Camilla to wear the late princess's jewelry, or was this an attempt from the mistress to pay her respects to the late princess? Counting down to number 8, her stepchildren Princes William and Harry have set strong boundaries regarding that relationship. Prince William made it clear that the newly appointed Queen Consort will never fill the role of his late mother, Princess Diana. Apparently, the Prince of Wales does not want Camilla trying to get close with his children George, Charlotte, and Louis. According to William, his kids have 2 grandfathers but only 1 grandmother. It makes sense that he would want to make sure that his late mother, Princess Diana, isn't erased from the picture now that Charles is remarried. William considered her bossy, mean-spirited, and thoughtless. Yikes again, Camilla. It's like she doesn't even care to be liked by anyone other than Charles. Will was furious to find out newspapers published a photo of Camilla planning a kiss on his father's cheek in public. The young prince saw it as a slap in the face to his mother just 4 days before what would have been her 40th birthday. Is Will being dramatic, or is he right to leave Camilla out of the picture when it comes to his own family? Number 7, speaking of the princes, if you've ever wondered how Harry feels about his stepmom, apparently it's somewhat complicated. Harry doesn't have great respect for Camilla and has pretty much no interest in starting a close relationship with her. I mean, obviously we aren't surprised to know King Charles's sons are not at all happy with him ditching their mom for his mistress. Harry and William were initially very happy to welcome Camilla into the royal family because she kept in the background and didn't interfere, but then something shifted. It was revealed that part of the reason Harry and his wife Meghan fled the UK was because of racist comments Camilla allegedly made about their then unborn son, Archie. Here we go again with more racist allegations. Someone needs to find a way to educate this family, honestly. According to Harry, someone speculated about what his future child would look like. In another version, Camilla made a statement saying, "Wouldn't it be funny if your child had ginger afro hair?" Camilla, you're already hated on, and adding racist to the reasons people hate you is not a good look. Harry and Meghan allegedly left the UK in part because of Camilla, not people running away to avoid her. Insiders also claimed in June that Harry was still not a fan of Camilla because he had not forgotten his late mother Princess Diana's comments about the Queen Consort having an affair with his father. Number 6 on our list, Queen Elizabeth was not too fond of Camilla. Liz thought her relationship with Charles would be too damaging to the monarchy. When initially introduced, Camilla was not accepted because she had been married before and already had kids. If you don't know, the royals do not like to consider people with previous marriages suitable for marrying into the throne. Even though that rule is not as strictly considered nowadays, it's often talked about, and of course, the British press is more than happy to post invasive information about anyone involved with the royals. So now everyone knows one of the reasons the royals were not thrilled about Camilla. Queen Elizabeth II always detested Camilla and only agreed to give her blessing for the royal to be known as Queen Consort because of an unspoken deal behind the scenes over Prince Andrew. I wonder what that's all about. The Queen Mother particularly detested Camilla because she was throwing a wrench in the works. Because of Camilla, the monarchy was kind of brought to the brink of destruction. In 1998, when Charles was trying to persuade his mother to be more accommodating of Camilla, the Queen described her as that wicked woman. Damn, the hate is so real. When Charles shared his intentions of marrying Camilla with the Queen, who had several martinis, and to Charles' surprise replied forcefully, she would not condone his adultery nor forgive Camilla for not leaving Charles alone to allow his marriage to recover. You go, Liz, I'm totally on your side with that. Charles would not give up Camilla. So when Diana passed away, Camilla was blamed by a lot of people for the situation, which resulted in Diana's passing. And Camilla became the most hated woman in England, if not the world, for a while. Being one of the most hated is an insane title to have, but now the newly appointed Queen Consort is enjoying her life, so I'm sure she's blocking out all the haters. It seems like someone with the name Meghan Markle took her place of being the most hated. When comparing King Charles's committed relations with both Diana and Camilla, it's obvious Diana tried harder to win the hearts of the family as well as the nations. The royals were very welcoming to Diana, but much more hesitant when Camilla came in the picture. Charles adored Camilla from the jump because she always treated him as an equal rather than as someone she idolized. But regardless, the royal family was not interested in having Camilla as a princess. For one thing, she was perceived as an experienced woman, which at the time was unacceptable for the royal family. She wasn't perceived as aristocratic enough to be a princess. On the other hand, Diana was adored by the royal family. The Queen thought Diana to be quite suitable for Charles. She worked very hard to ingratiate herself and to model what she thought being a princess would entail, and she did it very successfully. Of course, these opinions spilled into the minds of everyone and didn't help with Camilla's attempts of winning the family over. On to number 4, the Netflix series The Crown shared stories about the pain Diana dealt with, which naturally brought a lot of backlash for Camilla. At one point, every photo on the monarch's Instagram was flooded with comments saying Diana forever, and anything else implying that Diana will not be forgotten. The Crown has depicted Camilla as the other woman in the love triangle, which has not helped her image either. Bringing up the old drama annoyed people all over again. Another reason why the public is not too crazy about Camilla, in a television poll at the time, 2/3 said Charles should not be allowed to become king if he married Camilla. He had been having an affair with her since the mid-1980s. Some people were so upset about the tragedy that they wanted Camilla to leave the country, saying that without the mistress, none of this would have happened. People of the public seem to have pointed their fingers right at Camilla after the tragic loss of Diana, labeling her the mistress who caused this. That's pretty harsh and unfair to blame anyone without evidence, but it seems the Queen Consort has come a long way from these accusations. We can't talk about the treatment Camilla has endured all these years without bringing up King Charles. Much has been and continues to be written about the downfall of the marriage of Prince Charles and the late Princess Diana. But few moments remain as infamous as a phone call Prince Charles made to his then mistress in December of 1989, during which they jokingly fantasized about Charles being reincarnated as one of Camilla's tampons. My luck to be chucked down a lavatory and go on and on forever, swirling round on the top, never going down, until the next one comes through, Charles says at one point in the secretly recorded conversation that was later leaked to the press in 1993. "Oh, perhaps you could just come back as a box," Camilla replies. "A box of Tampax so you could just keep going." Ew, like what did I just read right now? Last but not least, regardless of the premarital affairs King Charles and Camilla were both involved in, there have been times where Camilla's behavior was off-putting, leaving fans and supporters of the royals upset. During a native ritual of throat singing, Camilla and Charles were caught acting disrespectful by not being able to contain their laughter during the performance. The worst part is they were sharing the stage with the performers too, so there was no way to hide their laughter. Whatever it was that was making them laugh that hard ultimately fueled more hate for the Queen Consort. As you can tell, these royals are kind of uneducated. Coming in number 10, Prince Harry is preparing his memoir with stories being completely different from the ones being released as part of the docuseries. That sounds really suspicious. As they're working on making amends, they've apparently changed their mind about airing the family's dirty laundry. But that's not all. They've also knowingly or unknowingly mixed up some of their story details. The insider claimed a lot in the show contradicted what Harry has written, so that was an issue. Harry and Meghan are having second thoughts on their own story on their own project, another Netflix source said. Sources say that Harry and Meghan had made significant requests about toning down the content they had initially provided, but were denied because of how late in the process they had done it. So are we getting some real juicy insight on what goes on behind closed doors? And if so, how accurate is it? There are always two sides to a coin. Depending on how biased the docuseries will be, viewers may or may not have different perceptions on the couple and royal family. In number 9, in the teaser, Harry is accusing his family of leaking and planting stories in the media. The 63-second clip is accused of painting a false picture. One of the scenes shows Harry expressing his concern over Meghan being treated like his late mother, Princess Diana. "I was terrified. I don't want history to repeat itself." While explaining how they have been hounded by the media, viewers seem to notice that the photograph they've used over the scene was of former model Katie Price leaving Crawley Magistrates Court from last December, an unrelated issue to what is being discussed. Viewers also noticed the image was flipped to show a different angle. This does not seem like a good look for the couple, hours before the release of their highly controversial Netflix docuseries. Coming in number 8, the series gives the impression that a photographer secretly photographed the couple with son Archie inside a private home, but witnesses have said that the photographer had been granted official access in advance. Robert Jobson, the royal editor for the London Evening Standard, said he was there when the photograph in question was taken and that the angle was an accredited position that Harry and Meghan had agreed on. This photograph used by Netflix, Harry and Meghan, to suggest intrusion by the press is a complete travesty, Jobson wrote. It was taken from an accredited pool at Archbishop Tutu's residence in Cape Town. Only 3 people were in the accredited position. H&M agreed to the position, and I was there. This lies enough to discredit the allegations and stories being told in the docuseries because it makes Harry and Meghan look like they're reaching the line stories to victimize themselves based on facts that are not 100% true. 7th on the list of top 10 lies being revealed before the release of the docuseries, Pierre Morgan, British podcaster, addresses the issues he has with the Duke and Duchess through his tweets about the first look at the upcoming series. After feeling exploited over having his soundbite used in the series, a trail of tweets followed, and here are some juicy ones showing how passionate Morgan felt about the series. Slamming Prince Harry for waging a relentless, vicious public war against his own family, Morgan called the royal a deluded, spoiled, manipulated brat. The sixth lie on the list of top 10 being discovered from the trailer is another photograph showing press bombarding a car with a follow-up image of Meghan wiping tears from her eyes. To emphasize the point of Meghan being bombarded by photographers, viewers notice that the picture used is from Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, in the vehicle. So if they're using false proof to clarify their points, how true are they going to be in the series? Ingrid Seward, editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine, said, "The inaccurate photographs undermine the validity of what Harry and Meghan are trying to say. It makes them the object of ridicule. If you are going to criticize the monarchy, you have to make sure everything you say or do is absolutely correct." Host of the Meghan Kelly show, Kelly, had a lot to say about the series as well. There are at least 3 other shots in that trailer of them getting mobbed by the press, which had absolutely nothing to do with them, she said. Fifth on the list of lies being revealed before the release of the docuseries, as if using one picture of a model completely unrelated to the issue is not enough, another one of the pictures used to show Harry and Meghan hounded by the press in the trailer was actually taken at a film premiere 5 years before they had even met. Pierre Morgan exposed a paparazzi photo used in the trailer was actually from a Harry Potter premiere and not of photographers following the couple in their private lives. They already tell yet another lie in the first trailer with the Harry Potter paparazzi shot, Morgan wrote. It is understood that no members of the royal family attended the premiere. Instead, the photo appears first under search results for paparazzi on a stock image website. Royal expert Ingrid Seward commented how Netflix's careless efforts weakened Harry's comment about protecting his family. This fake picture weakens his point. On to the fourth lie being discovered within the docuseries. A source told the British paper that palace insiders were seething with rage at allegations made in the forthcoming docuseries. The trailer was also slammed by online trolls who called the series hypocritical. In a conversation with Sky News Australia's Paul Murray, Meghan Kelly mentioned her perspective on the bullying allegations, how they were coming out from the abandonment of her friends and family, her wedding peppered by only celebrities and no one who actually knew or loved her. They've lost 14 staffers, top staffers, in the past few years. That's not normal to lose 14, especially at that level when you're royal. People probably really want to work for you. One internet user voiced their opinion on the trailer by saying, "I love the part where Harry and Meghan write a letter making it clear that the monarchy is a horribly oppressive system. This outrage has caused former employees to voice their frustration with NDAs that limit them from saying anything about the lies in the Netflix docuseries." One of the palace staffers said, "She knows we can't financially protect ourselves by going to court, so she keeps pushing. It's all a game for her, and she's loving it," they said. "I certainly have chosen to remain silent out of respect for the crown, but if they keep attacking us and our characters, reputation, etc., we need to feel we are equally supported by the royal family." Many have known Meghan Markle from when she was once part of the acting industry, which after a certain point is known to give one a lot of media attention. So after vocalizing concerns over needing privacy as a royal, many people seem to feel as if it was an unreasonable demand for Meghan, especially during all the controversies, all while including an inside look on their life as royals, which is to be featured with never-before-seen pictures of the family. Afterwards, Meghan tried to reiterate her feeling of needing privacy and how it's a basic human right. She stated how she should be able to share parts of her life in her control, not in the media's control. Pierre Morgan had more to say about the trailer. "Imagine bleating about privacy than doing a kiss and tell reality series about your private lives. Then imagine preaching compassion as you trash your family again. Then imagine releasing the first trailer deliberately to ruin your brother's big trip to America. Repulsive hypocrites." Morgan expressed his support for the royal family and distaste for how Harry and Meghan are handling their drama. British podcaster Pierre Morgan was very vocal when it came to accusing Harry and Meghan of lying. You may remember in the Oprah Winfrey Wine-a-thon, about 17 different things that came out of their mouths were quickly proven to be untrue. And we're at it again with the Netflix documentary. He claimed the couple now ruthlessly exploits their titles as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex for hundreds of millions of dollars. During the interview, she had brought up that she and Prince Harry shared their vows in their backyard with the Archbishop of Canterbury, who had refuted the claims, saying the wedding was celebrated on the 19th of May, the day of their marriage, which was also publicly televised. As Prince Harry talks about the hierarchy in the video, he says, "You know there's leaking, but there's also planning of stories. No one knows the full truth. We know the full truth. Do we believe them?" Let me know what your thoughts are on this docuseries in the comments below. More unwanted attention on the family with the show The Crown, based on stories from the royal family, is also receiving backlash on a storyline about the affair between Prince Philip and friend Penny Natchbull, which is believed to be insensitive following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in September. All of this exposure is just another reason to have us kick back and remain so invested in this English drama. For now, we can only interpret small parts of the docuseries through the trailer and by others' opinions on the matter. But once it's released, we'll have a better insight of the story as told from Harry and Meghan.